Hello, so this is interesting, everybody. The restraining order that was issued to me in criminal court after I was found not guilty of anything and only issued for preventative reasons, only based on the mother's fake plea of fear, ends not in April, that I thought. I've just checked the paperwork. It ends on February the 12th, 2025. And what that means is, in theory, on February the 13th, 2025, I should be able to ring my son, ring his mother. Not that I want to, but I have to ring her to speak to my son. He hasn't got his own phone. And let's see what happens. Now, before that happens, I'm going to be ringing the police. I'm going to be ringing Kafkas, and I'm going to be making sure that both of them parties are aware that on February the 13th, there is no restriction on me at all seeing my son, speaking to my son, going to my son's school. But of course, we all know the family court system, we all know how Kafkas work, and we all know they will manipulate and twist anything to make it as difficult for a daddy as they can. I'm just letting you know, people. And I'm going to show you. Remember, the only reason this restraining order was ever issued is for the following reason. My son was born on the 1st of August 2012. Me and his mother had a beautiful life up to April the 14th, 2022. No police involvement, no allegations, totally amazing. My son was 7 years in a private school. In March 2022, my son's mother's father died. Her mother died a couple of years before, but she never told me. So in March 2022, a lady that lived with my son in a beautiful home, father died and she didn't tell me. Now, the reason she didn't tell me is she made the decision in March 2022 to move her and my son to her dead mum and dad's house in Worcester. And she did that on April the 15th, overnight, without me being aware. She simply didn't need me anymore. I'd housed her and my son for 10 years, paid everything. But she inherited her dad's money, inherited her mum and dad's house. She didn't need me. On April the 15th, she made an allegation to police. This is the only allegation she has ever made, that I smashed through a door. That's it. And that allegation has nothing to do with my son. But I was arrested because she's made an allegation on April the 15th. And on April the 15th, she took my son to her dead mum and dad's house and has kept him and parental alienated him there ever since. Now, that's the only allegation that's ever been made against me as me. Now, obviously that allegation has nothing to do with my son. So my bail conditions were, on April the 15th, 2022, normal child contact. Now, I'm a daddy that saw his son every day. So for 6 months, from April 15th, since she made this allegation, I had third parties ringing her to get my son to contact me, and she refused every single phone call. 6 months later, after trying to get hold of my son, and I kept ringing the police to say, what is the point of a bail condition if a lady can just ignore it? The police pleaded with her to get my son. The police are pleading with her. Let's just get this right. Please get your son to ring his daddy on Father's Day, his birthday. There's no reason why he shouldn't. She simply refused, because that is what parental alienation is. The police asked her to get my son a phone so I can ring my son directly. She refused. The police then said to me, we cannot force her to do anything, which basically means that the bail conditions of normal child contact were pointless. I went to court in January 2023 to face the criminal allegation of smashing through a door. And I was found not guilty, as I've said in a previous chapter. Not guilty of anything, which means to January 2023, I haven't seen my son now for 9 months, yet I'm not guilty of anything. Yet, after I was found not guilty, she'd made a pre-written plea. And the plea was, if Mr. Dean is found not guilty, can the judge be aware that me and his son are living in fear in Worcester? Fear that they've never had their entire life. No history of it, no police, nothing. And because of the plea, the criminal court said to me, you've been found not guilty today, which means it was a false allegation in the first place, as proved. But based on the plea, we're going to give you a 2-year restraining order not to contact her or your son and hand it to family court. So I'm given a 2-year restraining order for no reason, but a preventative reason based on her fake plea. That ends in February 2025. So to this day, I'm nearly 3 years without hearing, seeing, or speaking to my son because the family court system and the criminal court system has been abused and manipulated. On February the 13th this year, a daddy should simply be able to ring his son and say, "Hello, my son, I love you, when am I going to see you?" There is no restriction on me at all, but we all know the system. So I'm just letting you know, people, the reason this has been so devastating to me as a human is that I've never done anything but love my son. My son at 10 years old was removed overnight based on that one allegation of me smashing through a door. Yet Kafkas have never even mentioned the fact that she now lives in her dead mum and dad's house. Kafkas have never mentioned the fact my son was removed from his school without my notice. Kafkas have never mentioned that he's been reschooled 4 times without my notice. Kafkas have never mentioned anything the mother has done in any way. To this date, I have no idea where my son's been schooled. Now, if you bear in mind, my son was in a private school from 3 years old to 10, and me and his mother went to every event for 7 years. In fact, my son's private school went to family court to talk on my behalf because they were so shocked, and they were dismissed because it was about his past, not his future. The point is this, people. On the February the 13th, there is absolutely no reason at all why I should be able to ring my son. I've never done anything but love my son and the mother of my son. It was a premeditated steal of my son, and then the system has protected that premeditation. Remember the bail conditions. Originally, normal child contact. It was the mother that decided that wasn't going to happen. So I'm just letting you know, people. I thought it was April, but actually February the 13th, I should be able to speak to my son. Let's see what happens.
If you like Deano stories and you want more, and you've got stories of your own that you want told, get in contact and we can sort something out.